Today I am going to talk about gas stoves. So I camp a lot. When I go camping, I prefer to cook on the fire. I really do enjoy cooking on the fire. I find it, you know, the more I camp, the more I like it. However, you can't always cook on the fire. There's plenty of scenarios that mean that you can't do it, whether it's for fire ban reasons, whether it's just because it's a quick stop on the side of the road and you haven't got the time to build a fire. Yeah, so gas stoves for me are an essential part of going out and camping and being able to cook. There are hundreds and hundreds of different types of gas stoves out on the market of many different sizes and many different arrangements and setups, and you know, there's a lot out there. I just want to talk about what I've used and sort of what I found to be the best solution. So here we go. Now this big boy here is really good. It's a Gasmate stove. It's got 2 burners up top and it's also got a grill. So it's actually technically a 3 burner. Really good. You can toast items like when we went to Cape York. We had a very similar one to this. It was the Zempire version, and it was really good because we could use whatever meat we had, and we could use wraps to basically make pizzas. So it enabled us to vary the type of food that we're eating with, and had an absolutely beautiful camp once at a place called Pennyfather's Beach. I think I've pronounced that correctly, outside of Weipa there, where we actually made nachos in metal bowls under the grill. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. However, on that same trip, I was driving along and we decided to stop for a quick lunch stop. Because this Gasmate stove is the traditional style sort of camping stove, it does indeed, well, it does require a gas bottle. So that gas bottle, I drive a wagon, I don't drive a ute. So that gas bottle, the way I had my setup at the time, pretty much had to be, well, it had to be stored on the roof. Every time I wanted to cook, I had to get up on my roof, or at least get the bottle off my roof, set it up, and it didn't bother me until a really good mate of mine that I was on the camp with, hello Begsy, hello Brit, pulled out one of these. Now they didn't necessarily have the exact type that I've got. I've got the 360 degrees hiking stove. Again, there's a lot of these out there. So, you know, I got this one off eBay. I don't know whether 360 is any kind of brand or anything like that, but that's the one I've got. I like the way it's packaged. I like the way it's boxed like that. Now, this isn't the actual one I had at the Cape trip. I bought one at a camping store. I can't even remember what one that was, but I saw him get this out and then cook sausages in a fry pan, and having eaten and packed up before I even got my setup ready for cooking. So then I was like, okay, I went straight to a camping shop and I bought one because it was just amazing. It's really good if you know, it's the middle of the night and you just want a snack. You can actually just boil up some water and make some noodles. Obviously coffee making, things like that. They are a hiking stove. They're designed to be in a backpack, so that you can, you know, obviously easily carry it and do that. Now, compared to this, it was a lot easier to set up, but it didn't quite have the stability. Having this set up, so the way it sets up is, I'll just, I'll get this out here. So this one doesn't have an inbuilt ignition device. Some of them do. This particular one has wind fairings built into the actual burner. And this is the fuel that you use. So it's really as simple as screwing this on here, like so. And because of the box that it came in, I found it really easy basically to just store a cigarette lighter, just a plain old lighter in there, and then you can just basically twist it, open up the valve, and then there you go. I don't know whether you can hear that or not, but she's rolling. You could definitely see the heat haze. But again, I'm not here to cook on it today. I've already had some sausages, so you may or may not have seen, but yeah. Really good. It was designed, well, it was purchased for use on a Cape York trip. We're camping for about a month. And it was just me and my brother. So we weren't cooking for a large volume of people. Apart from actually making pizzas, I found that we just wound up just cooking on this thing all the time because it was just so easy. So it kind of made this one disappear. That said, if you've got a large group that you're camping for, this is probably the go, because you can actually put a cast iron hot plate on it and cook it like a normal barbecue, compared to a barbecue like a Weber or a Ziggy or something like that. It is actually still very compact, and it's definitely got its place, and I do like it, and I do use them on occasion. Actually, I haven't even used this one. This is one that I bought when my Zempire one decided to stop working after the Cape trip, but then I just haven't been on the sort of trip that needs it. So yeah, so it packs up really small, and is able to cook a lot of things. I usually cook breakfast on this type of cooker because I just couldn't be bothered getting any big setup out, and depending on the status of the fire, I feel like breakfast isn't really a meal that you often, or that I often cook around the fire anyway. I just like to get a coffee happening and get it done. Biggest drawback of this is stability. It has serrated feet on it here, may or may not be able to see, but I've got a fry pan. Don't mind it being dirty, just to demonstrate. So when it's up there, as you can see, it's sort of, depending on how you have it sitting now, it's okay like that. But if you've got a fry pan that's full of hot food, and as a result, hot oil or hot liquid, it can be dangerous. And so what it means is now suddenly you basically got to babysit the thing the whole time. You got to be here, you can't leave. Typically when you're camping, you don't always have a solid surface. The table might be a bit wobbly because there might be a hole there. You know, it could be windy. There could just be kids and dogs running around. There's a lot of reasons why I couldn't use this for that reason. Now I do a little bit of occasional hiking, not far from here actually. And so as a result, it was worth hanging on to this style of cooker, so that if I do an actual hike, then I'm able to use this just in a backpack, cook a couple of sausages, boil water, whatever I need to do when I'm out there on my little hikes. And I don't go on a lot of hikes, as you can probably tell by my size. I probably should go on a few more, to be honest, but I just like being out and about. So again, I'm just going to pack this one up, the 360 degree, straight out of eBay. Look, I bought all these a long time ago, and I can't remember how much any of them cost, and there's no way I'd be able to go through my purchase history to tell you. I think I got this one in a camping shop. Again, I don't remember how much they cost me, but I'll put up prices somewhere on screens, show you guys how much they cost right now, give you a bit of an idea, and I might even put an eBay link or something up there. All right, so I've got to get this packed away, and once you get it inside the little thing, you just put the ciggy lighter in there, because I'm one that likes to keep things in little packages, so I know that if I've got this, then I can use it. The stability issue did come up. Somebody that I know did actually wind up with some hot oil in their lap, basically, when they were cooking. We were just out at a beach for the day, and for whatever reason, the barbecues at the local beach, the public barbecues, were all used. So I said, I'll get out my little gas cooker and we'll cook off that. And it was fine. You know, we were cooking for a larger group actually, and we were processing things. But then, yeah, it happened. Luckily, the person that it happened to didn't get burnt. You know, there was no injury, but it sort of made me go, oh yeah, I've got to be really careful with this thing. And that's where I started to do more research. In my research, I found this. So this is a Snowpeak stove. I'll put the full description again of, you know, the actual model and the make and things like that. And again, I will put the prices up, but from memory, it was about $250. So this is not a cheap option. But since then, I've actually noticed that now there's cheap eBay versions of this that have been popping up on eBay. I don't know about how good quality they are, but yeah, they look very similar. Now, I found that this definitely, it isn't the most compact, but it offers, for me, the best balance between compact and stability. You can take this hiking, and I actually have, but this one is definitely better in a backpack, whereas in a full drive, that takes up very little room. I can put a decent sized frying pan on it with a decent amount of stability. I can put a camp oven on it. I can put quite a lot of different cooking implements on it. Yeah, I can cook whatever I need to on it. I can boil water, I can boil coffees, I can do a lot on there. And I have cooked sausages on this today, which I'll put some video footage up of the sizzle. This is now my go-to gas stove. So like I said at the start of the video, I prefer to cook on the fire. I really enjoy it. I kind of like bushcrafting and just enjoy burning things, and I feel like that's kind of one of the big things about camping. It's just nice to have a fire, but it's not always something that you sort of can do for various reasons. So again, this is my go-to. So I'll show you how to unpack it. So you basically like so, open it up, then you got these two little bits here that you pull out. Pull them together. They're actually two bits, they might not look like it. Now underneath there's a little button, okay? So you push that button and that sort of unlocks it so that you can sling it around like that. And then there you go, okay? So it's fairly easy. It actually feels quite awkward when you first do it, but once you've done it a few times, you don't think much about it and you just do it. Got a Gasmate, it's a rim vent release safety device butane gas cartridge. So another really key point to mention about all these is the fuel source. Now the good old gas bottle, you can fill them up at servos, that's no dramas, and the size of them means that they do last quite a long time. This bottle that I use for the hiking stove is a little bit harder to get. I'm not going to say it's hard to get. You can get them at you can get them at all camping shops. I've never seen a camping shop that doesn't have them. Up around some parts of the top end, like around the bigger sort of city centres, I did find these for sale at a lot of the stores, because obviously they're places where people do camp quite a lot. However, these things you can get them anywhere. I shouldn't say anywhere, but you get them at cheapo shops. They usually come in like a packet of 6. You get them at Bunnings, hardware stores, camping shops, supermarkets. They're just so readily available. It is another thing that I realize that is really good on a sort of trip, because you know that if you're around any kind of any city centre, even a smaller one, you're probably going to be able to find these. That said, they're fairly affordable. I mean, I haven't exactly look too deep into the price, because you only get 220 grams in these ones, so they're small. They do run out kind of quick, but you get 6 of them. They store easy. You just leave them rolling around in your car and just use them when you need them. These are available, really readily available and really easy to get, which is a thing, because if you are going out into the bush and you are going camping and you've forgotten them, or you didn't realise that you had a few empty ones rolling around and suddenly you need a cook, you got to be able to get something. Now, installation's really easy. The actual Gasmate cookers have a way that you can lock it in, but with this one, it literally, you just push it into that there, push it in, make sure that little cutout, you know, matches that bit there, and once it pushes in, that's it. That's actually in, and you close it up. So there's a little dial here, and probably won't be able to see it on camera, but there is definitely fire there. Pumps out a lot of heat. I didn't go too deep into looking into you know, the actual, you know, BTUs of heat or anything like that, because it doesn't interest me. I just want something that's going to do the job, and this does the job. So I'm just going to turn that off so it doesn't get too hot. Now, putting a fry pan on there, I have cooked sausages earlier. If you put it like that, it's going to be a bit unstable. So it's not the perfect setup. You do have to make sure that the you know, the handle or the heaviest part is on one of the arms. But you know, if you've got like a bit of wobble going on, it doesn't move easily. You just dump it on there and away you go. You can have it set up in any orientation. This pan is dirty because I just cooked sausages in it. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. So that's how you set it up. Yep, so I do also like that this has an inbuilt ignition source. You don't need to remember a cigarette lighter or anything like that. You just basically give it a good old twist and do it. Plus it has also got it's got the 3 different cooking heat levels on the, where is it? On the actual dial just here. So you obviously got 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then start or ignition. I just like that because I found that you know, when you are cooking, it's actually usually me pulling the tent back to try to cook things a little bit slower when I'm sort of camping or trying to make a nice little feed. Yeah, and so the other side of it is even if you are cooking some meat on a grill or on the fire or however you cook it. I've got a camp where I've got a lot of different methods to cook on the fire. It is something that you can use to like boil some rice or boil some pasta or do something else on there or do the whole meal. So yeah, plenty of different options there. In summary, for my money, this is the best value camping stove for the sort of stuff I do. I mean, this channel is an adventure channel, but it is predominantly based around full driving and off-roading and adventuring, which includes camping. And so, as I was saying, for a vehicle mounted yet compact solution, because I've only got a wagon, this thing takes up, the Gasmate one just takes up way too much of my storage, which can be used better for others. Plus it's fairly heavy, plus you've got to have the gas bottle as well. So yeah, I just found that for me, it's definitely the best, and I just wanted to give everybody an insight into how and why I use this and what it does for me, basically. So any questions, please put them in the comments. I'm not the quickest to reply to comments, but my counterpart John's a lot better at responding than I am, so he'll let me know and I'll jump in there and yeah, basically let you know if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a good day and go and hit it off road.